Right, thank you very much all of you that have been looking at this. Week number 2, here we go. Right, now, as leading on from last week, I'm now at Mr. Smith's, the sharecrop farmer, and things were getting pretty rough. I'd been there for 3 months now, no pay, no nothing. Pancakes, so I was forever running up and down to the dunny up the top of the hill, and I had to sleep outside. He certainly didn't like the English, and work was hard. It was dairy herd, cows, and wheat, and he'd called in the contractors to cut the big wheat fields. I had to go around the sides cleaning it, God knows what now. Anyway, just a little bit here. Walked across the wheat field, up the bank, turned around to look at the big old combine harvesters. They were quite a sight to see. And in front of the combine harvesters, all the black and brown snakes were shooting out, and they got head as big as your fist and the body as thick as your arm. I thought, oh my God. And if one of those had bit you, and I'd just walked through a lot of them, you know, and perhaps I wasn't such a tasty meal then as what I am now. And you got about 9-10 minutes to get the antidote into you, and you're 200 or 300 miles out in the bush here, so you've got no hope of that. And it has been known for people to take their limbs off. Well, you're fighting for your life here now. One of those bites you, and a vicious looking thing too. But like all the snakes and everything I've encountered, really, you have to upset them. You know, tiger snakes, this and that. You have to upset them, and so, boom. But I just walked through a lot of them. I thought, oh, geez, you know. So right, back we goes, and I was reaching the end of me tether here, and I thought something's got to be done here, and once a month, the big old milk lorry used to turn up about 2-3 in the morning. It'd been up the road about 150 mile, picked up a load from up there, come back down to Smith's and picked his milk up there, and then off it would go. Huge, great big lorry. It had to be government subsided because I couldn't see how they could make that much money out of it, you know. But and he used to send us over there, and I used to have to let the bloke in, do all this, do all that. Time I got to bed, it was 4 o'clock, and up at 5-6 o'clock to start the day's work again. With no pay, you know, and got a drink of milk. But so I thought, you know, this is it's very abusive, and he'd obviously blamed the world for everything, you know. I could see why his work was all shot off. Anyway, I thought, Lester, you've got to do something here. I'm what, 200 miles from a place called Musselbrook. Now, if any of you want to look that up, look it up, and you'll find Musselbrook. And I thought, right, I'll stay hidden of a daytime, and of a night time follow a road. There was only the one road leading to Musselbrook, only the one road, and I'll try trundle along the road of a night time. So I went down to the time of the milk float, good God, time of the milk lorry turning up. And down I got sent. They all went off to bed at 10 o'clock, goodness knows what, poor darlings. And I was stuck down in the milking parlour. And I thought, right, this is it. I had my clothes packed and there wasn't many of them left. I tell you, I had next to nothing. Jeez. And I thought, you know, LOI water. Here we go. I went into the cow shed and I got a great big shovel full of cow poo. And I thought, well, LOI water. And I thought, oh, and I threw it straight into the milk vat. Straight in there. There's 4 of them. I took all the lids off. Boom. Poo in all of them. I thought, I love you, you old. And I won't swear because we're on YouTube here. And I thought, I love you. Bang. LOI water. Done all that. Mind you, I had a good drink of milk beforehand, you know. I didn't want to drink any chocolate milk. Anyway, went to the main doors, put a sign up. I'd already written this out, you know, contaminated, you know, put the shovel through the door, left the lights on in there, and the lorry driver would have seen this, so he wouldn't have contaminated anyone else's milk. He would have seen this, that's for sure, and he'd have gone running over to Airspit and said, oh look, you better come and look at this, and I knew this was going to happen. Off I took up to a road, Right, there's never no traffic out there, so there's nothing there. And I knew I was going to be a long old slog here. How I was going to survive, I've no idea. Fate threw its hand, and I couldn't believe it. I could see a car coming my way with headlights. I thought, oh, jeez. Now this terrain was it was rough, it was dry, it was merciless terrain. You know, all you didn't have any of the green grass or anything like that. It was all brown, and now the poor old cattle survived. They'd eat anything, and Bathurst, but oh god, you know, all over the place. Them Bathurst birds, as we'll find out later on. But it was a rough old terrain, hot, steamy night, you know, and this car, and up it stopped, and his name was Mark. And I said, you know, hello and all this and that, and he said, what's the game like, you know? And he's kept the car back a bit because it's a bit unusual to see a bloke on the road that time of the morning. And I explained the situation to him. I said, I'm getting out of it, you know, I've had enough of him. And
Oh, wow, wow.
wait,
wow,
put that didgeridoo down.
wow.
I'll tell you what. You bring these, you get these kangaroos into the country, and they never leave you alone. Anyway, that was a guest appearance. Anyway, and had a good work with Mark, and he said, you know, he said, I'm going to Sydney, and I said, well, that'll absolutely do me, and I was a bit nervous because I knew what was in the back of me head. Now look, Muswellbrook was down the road. It was the only road going to it. And I knew once the old lorry driver had raised the alarm, Air Smith would be on the phone to the police at Muswellbrook. Now, there's no way these police were getting going until I've had their morning cup of coffee and fag and had a discussion about nothing, because there was nothing ever happened, until about 9:30. So we say 9 o'clock. And so I got in with Mark, down the road we went. We hit Muswellbrook at about 8:30 in the morning. Through Muswellbrook, we cleared Muswellbrook, only one road in and out of course, cleared Muswellbrook at about 9:15, and a big sigh of relief went all over me. I thought, we through Muswellbrook. He can ring the police now, because they'd come out and stop anything coming down. There might be one car in the morning, you know, that's that sort of a place. And bang, but I was through, and off down the road we went. Anyway, it was 2.5 days to get to Sydney, and we stopped here and we stopped there. We slept in the car. As I say, the area was bone dry of absolutely everything. And I say I only had a couple of dollars on me, but there was water here and water there. And Mark was very good. He'd been up the road there to see his brother. His brother was getting very old and near it, and he had a nice little station up there. And Mark wasn't interested in it. He was a different way of life. He was a city boy. Anyway, and so we hit Sydney after 2.5 days. A wonderful, lovely chap. Wonderful chap. Thank you very much to him. And we hit Belmore, and I said, well, I'm getting out of here. I don't know why I said I'm getting out there. I did. And we got out there, a place called Belmore. You can look that up too. It's all changed now, of course. And send me goodbyes to him and everything. If ever I see him again, I'd like to buy him a meal and really shake his hand. And I hope life's been fabulous to him, because he was a really nice chap. So now I'm stood in Belmore. And I thought, what do I do now? You know, and there's people everywhere. And my little suitcase. And I saw a sign, workers wanted, pointing down the road and all this and that. And I went down the road and I couldn't believe what I was looking at. It was a huge, great big tannery. Old wooden building, bit of steel here and there I suppose, but mainly wood, in about an acre of ground all round it and everything. So I went in and I saw Peter Johnson, the foreman. Any chance for oh yes, I got a job and everything all lined up and all this and that. And I said, it's a bit unusual having this. He said, well no, the tannery was here before the houses. And I thought, yes, your days are numbered here. And he sort of half knew that too. And he said, yeah, the council have already made, he said, about 2 or 3 years left here before they take the tannery away. They'll offer us something outside of the area, in the scrub, build a new tannery, they'll probably pay for it. They'll have the land here for flats and make a fortune out of it. But you can't have a tannery in a suburb now with all houses round it. It looked absolutely ridiculous, and boy, did that stink. So it was, days were numbered. But as I say, it was there before the houses. And so I worked in this tannery. The hides came in, rock hard the hides, cattle hides, with the salt, and I'd throw them in these huge, great big drums, about 8 or 9 times taller than me, and all the chemicals and goodness knows what, and you'd swish it round and move it. It was hard work, but I'll tell you what, at the end of the day, not those particular hides, but at the end of the day, you'd see some of the hides that had gone through, and you'd look at them, and there'd be huge, great big squares of sort of like blue leather, as soft as velvet to touch, and absolutely fantastic. And you think that's come from those smelly old flea-ridden, fly-blown blimmin' hides that I have to throw in the drum. And then off they go somewhere else and to be processed further on. Now, this tannery was making money, by the way. It wasn't that sort of thing. It was making money, and good money. But it was the land it occupied. Anyway, going back then, I said on to Mark, and he said there's a boarding house up the road. He said, and you'll be all right there. He said, but he said you need to be on your toes. I said, oh hello, why is that? He said, well, I'm just telling you, it's a bit of a funny place, but it's just up the road there. Not bad food, and you can walk to work. It saves all that expense. I said, rightio. He said, Mrs. Adams is her name, and good luck to you. I said, thank you very much indeed. You know, nice chap, nice area. So up the road I went. And that's where we'll continue next week. And the theme next week is the giantess and her daughter that couldn't get pregnant. But this woman was unbelievable, and so was this boarding house. I'll see you all next Friday. From Stockman, Pete. Have a lovely week. Bye-bye.